to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fan is welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard.
I'm Brad Newton.
And today, welcome to our first ever, the Sorta Anything Show.
Yeah, so we're still trying to figure out what the show is. We've been talking about this for a while, that we kind of just want to do a show that we just want to talk about our weeks, what's happening in the world, like nerdy news-wise, and so, come along with us on this journey as we figure out what the show is.
Yep, just a little disclaimer before the video starts. It was previously thundering outside. We live in Florida. It thunders like every half a minute. So if you hear noise, that's what it is. Bear with us.
So I think we should just start off and talk about what have you been doing this week?
Well, as you know, I've been on like a Dragon Ball Z high lately. I've been just on my at work, just like rewatching the Boo saga, and it just really just got me back into it. And then with the Dokken 5-year anniversary that just happened, it just they heightened it, and I've just been diving deep into like the Dragon Ball lore and history and everything, and just rekindling that love for Dragon Ball. So I've been reading the Dragon Ball Super manga right now, just because I want to get the Dragon box, but of course, I've heard from people that it's not the best release as far as the manga goes. But for right now, I'm like, you know what? I haven't read the Super manga at all. So I'm like, and it's like you can get like a volume for like $7, which is really nice. So I've been doing that right now. I've been liking it. It's a lot different from the anime immediately when I started reading it. But I've been reading that. I finished Umbrella Academy season 2. I loved it.
Yeah. That's what I was going to be mine too. I haven't finished Umbrella Academy. I think I'm on episode 5 though, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Besides that, it's been pretty busy. Pretty much just working. Can't really go out and do much. Things are starting to slowly open up again.
We're thinking about our movie theaters opening up, so we're thinking about going this Sunday, maybe next Tuesday, but we're thinking about going to the movies again soon.
Yeah, and we'll probably bring you a video about that, like just how it was, what's changed, what we thought about it, because it's going to be...
Our local movie theater is Regal Theater, so...
Yes, it's going to be interesting, just because of the sheer fact, like, in our area, per se, it hasn't been that crazy with this virus, so for that fact, like, I don't think people are going to be that afraid of going to the movies, but just seeing how the guidelines go and everything.
As far as me, I've just been working, just trying to grind. I work at a casino, so I have stories that I'll probably share, because casinos are very interesting. In the future, I'll share some stories, whatever comes up then. Like I said, I've been watching Umbrella Academy season 2. I've been watching the Zac Efron show on Netflix, where it's actually pretty decent. I think I'm about halfway through that as well. He just goes to different parts of the world and shows like energy, conservation, all that. It's pretty interesting.
I'll tell you what. Every time I get home, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll start 7 Deadly Sins.
Yes, that's the other thing I've been watching. I've actually only watched the first episode.
But my gosh, I checked out that episode with the Escanor and Melio. It's horrible. Like, gosh, why do they do this to this show?
To be honest with you, I'm not one for animation, and if I didn't know that the animation studio changed, just based off the first episode alone, I probably wouldn't even notice. This is only based off the first episode, though. But to be honest with you, unless I knew that was a big thing, I wouldn't even notice.
Well, yeah, like you could see some episodes. It really doesn't look that bad at all, but it's just like that moment that should have been a high quality. Like you could tell in anime, like they always have those moments where they're like, "Yep, we dumped all the money into this episode. We dumped all the money into this moment."
Ultra Instinct Goku, or it should have been Midoriya versus Overhaul.
It was so bad, and it sucks because I think it's because Netflix, because they have this property, it kind of hurt it. Because if we were getting it weekly, I think the popularity would have been like too. They mismarketed the movie, and that's why the studios changed. But it sucks. Like, it just I think seasonal animes just have such an opportunity to just become huge hits now because they're seasonal, and I think that's the way that all anime should go to. But it sucks that has to be one of the anime that gets kind of
shafted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the animation wise. But yeah, so other than that, we've just been watching stuff. Unfortunately, my PS4 is broken right now, so I've been really wanting to get into Fall Guys. That's the free game of the month.
I've been hearing about a couple of the Dokken YouTubers I watch. They've been playing that. It looks fun. It looks like it's one of those games where it's just
Yeah.
like right now
Just
it's
fun to play.
just fun to play. It won't. I don't think it'll keep its legs going forward, but I think for right now it's the thing right now.
Yeah, so I kind of looking forward to playing that. But yeah, so are you ready to get into the topics of the week?
Yeah, actually, speaking of our first topic of the week, an anime, Kiss Anime, R.I.P.
Yeah, I guess personally, I've never used Kiss Anime, but I understand why people are upset because Kiss Anime is the biggest it's basically illegal site to stream anime, and it's shut down.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, this is like brought up a lot of controversy and topics of lately with it now being turned off, and like you've had a couple actually like English voice actors like express their things on Twitter like, oh, this is good because if you're not, you're a colonizer, like some really stupid comments. And I think that there's a good and bad to this because like I don't know about you, like of course me, I like anime is my favorite thing. I love to support it. I'll support it anyway. I have Funimation, I have Crunchyroll, maybe, and forget about all like how they treat the properties and stuff like that. Support the like anime. I support it. Get the manga, all that stuff like that. But I mean, as a kid,
Yeah, so that's the point that I think we're both on the same page about this is when you're a kid and back that's different now considering that Crunchyroll and Funimation are a thing in which we have, but we support anime. We have all the anime figures. We watch it legally and stuff. But as kids, I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat as me that the only way that I knew how to watch anime was through illegal sites.
yeah, and not and granted, kids nowadays like
There's more stuff out there. It's more
And-
anime's more available now.
yeah, and forget like when we're saying kids, like we mean like
More
technically
teenagers. Yeah.
teenagers to like 18.
Yeah.
Anime is a lot more available right now. Like technically, I guess you could say
You can watch with ads on Crunchyroll.
you can
I
watch
don't know.
for free.
Yeah.
And then two, you can go out there and buy like Walmart always has like the DVD sets for some of the main stuff like Naruto, Dragon Ball, My Hero. I think they got Mob Psycho too. Like they get quite a few of them. And then two, you have your FYE stores. So it's definitely out there more compared to like what we had. We did not have Crunchyroll Funimation. We had VHSs and then the DVDs. I remember 5 episodes of Naruto on a single set DVD was like $30.
So I would say the benefit of, or maybe the downfall of Kiss Anime is because we watched illegally as a kid. It's now that we are adults and have the money, we do support the anime. So I think it's good in that aspect, right? So like, yeah, I'm just trying to say that we it's good because it's a gateway for people to get into the anime community for free. And then they could spend money on the toys, the figures, the streaming sites.
And I think that that's what that led to. I mean, also besides like Toonami, like I remember as a kid, like I used to watch on NarutoGet.com. That's where I watched all the Naruto.
One Piece Get, yeah.
And it made me want to go buy the DVDs just because like I loved it so much. I want to support it, but it also heavily made me want to go buy toys.
Yeah, exactly.
And it made me want to go buy trading cards, the video games. So while
it's like the gateway. Even though it's illegal, and I understand like you're stealing, but it's just kind of like the gateway drug to get you into the anime community.
Pretty much, and there are some beneficial sides to it, but then too like, but now granted, the other side of that is like if you're us and like if we just completely watch just all the pirate like on Kiss Anime, never supported, never anything. And then you get those people all the time. They're like, "Oh man, this is not getting a season 2," or anime seasons take a lot of money to make, and then animators get really treated like crap in Japan.
Next to nothing too.
Yeah, so the sheer fact of like every little dollar helps, and anybody that would spend hours on working on something, you wouldn't want somebody just watch that for free too.
Yeah.
So I understand it, but
Yeah.
like I said, there's two sides to it, and
Yeah.
I think it's
For the most part, I think it's good. Just because, as we said already, anime is more available now than it
and
ever has been.
I think that that's the one good side to it. That like okay, if it had to go, I understand it going now because now anime is available to so many more people. Now, granted, too, I feel like as like younger kids, like you can go on what like of course the internet's full of a lot of bad things, but you can go on Kids Anime by yourself and just watch the animes. Some animes you shouldn't watch as a kid, of course, but I feel like it is a little bit harder. Like if a kid wanted to, like, hey, mom, dad, can you pay for my, or can I do something to pay for a Funimation subscription?
Yeah, Funimation is what, $6 a month?
$7.
$7.
$7.99.
Yeah, $8 a month. Like I feel like that's just another streaming thing that a kid could get if they're doing funny chores or something. So anyway, I just think it's easily watchable now. So I think that's the end of our first topic. Our next topic is next generation consoles. Where's the PS5? Where's the Xbox Series X? I think it's called, right? The next two consoles. They both had their events in June, I believe, and since then nothing. We're probably 2.5 months away from release, 3 months away from release at this point, and we still know nothing about it. I think it's crazy.
I think it's crazy, but I also understand too. Like I think, of course, with everything that's happened, I think everything in this world has been halted a little bit. I think if none of this would have happened, we probably would have had it way sooner, of course.
I don't know about that. In my opinion, I think they're both just playing chicken. I think the other one's trying to undercut the other one on price.
As far as like when it comes to like the price and then when they want to put out the pre-orders, I do think one of them is trying to like wait. But I think PlayStation has such like an upper hand regardless because
they completely dominated this last console generation.
Yeah, they dominated, and I'm sorry, but as far as how they handled the reveal compared to the X to the PlayStation 5, I think the PlayStation 5 presentation was better in the sense of like they showed some games coming up, which as far right now like they got like their titles. I'm more Halo Infinite, yeah, it's good, but Horizon, Miles, the next Ratchet and Clank game, like that's day one stuff for me.
Yep.
And so you got the games back.
You gotta get PS5 day one. Is the thing. Like I want PS5 day one. I can get a Series X later if I want one. Especially since Halo Infinite got delayed till next year.
Yeah, and
so what's the point of buying the Series X this year if you're not gonna have your heavy hitter?
Exactly, and I think a big factor too is like okay, yes, with the price, like if there's rumors $400, $500, $600, $700, $800. If it is that high, like if they go the high route of $700, $800, then you're looking at, okay, you still don't have to be scared about pre-orders because then at that point, you're not going to have the generic, like mom going out to buy their kid a PlayStation 5 for Christmas, especially now with some people being in financial hardships. PlayStation would be kind of stupid right now to drop a $800 console again. But now, even if they did, you're going to have, like, that's not going to hurt the pre-orders because I think like, you're not going to have those so you're going to be able to go out and get one.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think it's the opposite right now because people are looking for something to do right now because you can't really go out right now.
Well, it balances out a little bit. I think, like, of course, you're going to have somebody that's like a little tight with their money. They're not going to be able to dish out that $800 for the console. But then too, you have people working from home and stuff that have really changed their home setup.
Yeah, what do you want to focus on right now? You want to focus on your house right now. It's because like especially I'm just talking to people with kids right now. They like you go to the movie theater. That's $40, like $40 at least minimum $50. You take family out to the movies that you're not spending right now. You're not going out to go get this stuff.
This is
staying home.
This is what gamers have been living for. Like this,
the quarantine.
Like the quarantine.
I was made for this.
Like, of course, it's because like I mean, we're still used to going to work, getting out, and socializing. But I mean, we've been playing games our whole life. Like we're fine with it. We have a good game. Like we're set. So like this is the moment for gamers to really get out there and like just dive into games. And this is where I think the studio should take advantage of it too. Like, make some good games, and like, you could kill it right now.
So, final prediction to end this topic. What do you think the Series X and the PS5 are going to cost?
Well, now I feel like, okay, so from what I think I've seen from specs, is technically the X is more powerful. But now, as a consumer, like, the PlayStation 5 is just, like I said, it's just more friendly, I think. And I love the look of it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the white on black look. Now, granted, if they do have a black on black, I think I will get that. Or if they have a Miles edition, from what I've heard, I would like that. Or a Horizon. Anything special edition I would consider. And then two, it has a 4K Blu-ray player, which is a big must, I think, nowadays, because considering you can't really get a 4K Blu-ray player much anymore. And then they have a disc and discless version.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I could see the PlayStation 5 being $500.
Yep, that was going to be mine. The disc version, I think, is going to be $499. The one with the disc.
Yeah, and then the discless version, I could see it being $350. I mean, not $350. Sorry, $450. $450.
Yeah, that would be my prediction as well. I thought we were going to differ on that, but yeah, that's what I was thinking it was going to be.
But I mean, I'm not ruling out the option of it being higher, because there's no way it's going to go lower. For people who think it's going to be the same as the PS4,
I think the discless version might be $399 though, because if I'm thinking at it from this perspective of like, is $50 really worth losing my disc? To me, it's not.
No, I'm still not ready to let go of physical media just yet.
But I'm just saying, like, if that's your option, I would think like it would have to be $100 difference. I think so. I might actually say it'd be $399 for the discless version, $499 for the disc version.
Now, granted,
and then the Series X, I think, will be $399.
I could see them being. I could honestly see Xbox being like, they bump up their console just because they're putting the power into it. And I mean, honestly, a lot of, like, if they're marketing to the gamers, like, gamers will spend $1,000 on a gaming PC. If it can get to somewhat close to that level, I don't think that they have to worry too much about that.
Well, I think Xbox is going to be cheaper, I think, than PlayStation, because Xbox isn't trying to sell their games right now. It's trying to sell the ecosystem. They're trying to sell Game Pass right now.
Yeah,
that's what Xbox is trying to do.
That now, before we end on this stuff, that's a big thing that I think Xbox really won with their with their console and like going forward is their ecosystem, because you're gonna have Halo Infinite and
Game Pass
and all those other games day one on Game Pass. Game Pass is $14 a month.
Yeah,
that includes Xbox Live. It pretty much re-ups it for that month. But plus you get the Game Pass. You get all those games.
Like, I'm biased towards PlayStation. I've always owned a PlayStation my whole life, but I will not deny that Game Pass is the best value of any game thing ever, I think.
Oh yeah, if you're just one of those people that plays like one game a year and not even really with a lot of friends, it's not for you. But
I think it is. I think it is for it's for your more casual gamer, because it's like it gives games that you would never spend $60 on, but if it's on Game Pass, well, why not try it? I already have a Game Pass.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, in the sense of like, okay, well, you do play a lot of games. Like, you don't want to keep spending $60, and you play with your friends all the time, and you're like, well, oh shoot, I got all these options, and it's $14 out of my pocket every month instead of just dishing out $60, and I get games with it.
But yeah, so I think that's going to be the end of console. We just want to know when it's coming out. I saw news on it.
So I think PlayStation, because they had a state of play like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And they said straight out, they're like, hey, no PS5, just PS4 stuff. People got mad, of course. But I think it was smart of them to do, like, hey, we're not doing that. It's okay, let us know, thank you. But I think they said they're gonna have a special event coming up for PS5, like, next week. And I think that's when they're gonna unveil either the price or the pre-order.
Yeah, it's gotta be soon. But yeah, so there's that. Next topic is probably going to be a bit of a smaller one, but it's pretty depressing news. The creators of Avatar ended up leaving the show. It kind of sucks. I was really looking forward to this Netflix Avatar. I'm going to butcher their names, but it's Michael Dante Di Martino and Brian Konitsuko. I'm gonna say his name is. I probably did mispronounce it. But anyway, they were the creators of the original Avatar. They were supposed to have a big part in this new Netflix show, and apparently they left.
Yeah, that really. I mean, you could shine a little hope on it still, but I mean, all in all, it's really bad. Just for the sheer fact of like, especially now we're in the streaming wars, kind of. You want an Avatar is beloved now, especially since they put it on Netflix. That was the first step.
Yeah.
So many more
Kind of
people
had like a second life now.
So many more people have consumed it now, and people love it. And then you got us talking about it still. It's one of the, if not the best, one of the best shows ever made. And then too, then they started creating like Netflix seemed like they were going to create their own like Avatar ecosystem. Like, okay, we're getting the original series here.
Korra just got on Netflix a few days ago.
Korra. Then we're going to do this live action show, and maybe that pops up. Maybe it would even lead to another animated show. And then bring in the creators on. Whenever you bring the creators on to help, that automatically gains trust in so many people, including myself. Like, you add the fact, like, okay, they're going to try and, they know people despise that M. Night Shyamalan movie. Which, God, is awful.
It doesn't exist in my brain.
But okay, great, you're bringing them on. And then from what I've heard from why they left,
I can read the quote. It says, when Brian and I signed on to the project in 2018, we were hired as executive producers and showrunners, and a joint announcement for the series. Netflix says that it was committed to honoring our vision and retelling and supporting us on creating the series, and we expressed how excited we were for the opportunity to be at the helm. Unfortunately, things did not go as we hoped. And it says, whatever vision ends up being on screen, it will not be what Brian and I had envisioned or intended to make, which is really depressing in my opinion.
Yeah, now you could take that two ways. I feel like you can look at it as like, okay, now did they want to do like almost a remake? Did they want to be like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna retell, like, we want our story just done live action. Or did they want to like change it though? Did they want to tell a different story? Like did they want to tell it but differently? You know, like they want to change it from their story, and maybe Netflix was like, no, we know how much people love this show. We want it frame by frame, like the original show. And maybe that's why. And then two, maybe like they wanted to do some changes, and that, I mean, there is a way you could spin it to where it looks good, but I think ultimately it looks bad. It maybe looks like, you know, they wanted to do something a little different, but keep the essence of the show. But then, too, why as Netflix, why would you bring on the creators
and then not go with their vision?
Like, how different are they trying to make that? Like, I don't know. We know nothing about this show yet, too.
Yeah, I think just to end it, because I wanted this to be a smaller topic, just to end it, my final thoughts on it would be, I think I'm going to give it one episode, and then I think one episode's all I'm going to need to say if I'm going to watch this or not.
I just want to see some images, too. Yeah. Like, I just want to get a basis on what this is going to look like, and then I think that I will tell you right off, like, oh, okay, this is why they left, or this is why. And then, too, like, maybe the creators just wanted too much control, and Netflix had to be like, listen, we're trying to get these other people involved too, and you're not wanting. So, I don't know. That's the best outcome possible.
Yeah, let's just hope it's not another M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Let's hope not. God, no.
All right, so our final topic, and this is probably our big topic of the week, is DC Fandom.
Yep. So, as some of you may know, or if you do not know, DC, of course, did not go to Comic-Con at home, which I would say ultimately failed this year. They did not market it well. They didn't have any big names. Some things did well, like the boys panel did really well. But DC was like, listen, we're gonna do our own thing, and like we're gonna have these actors come. We're gonna have these panels. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be for the fans. DC Fandom.
Yeah, so it seems like this is going to be their version of Comic-Con, and like just looking at the website. It's saying this isn't going to be like Comic-Con. This is going to be 24 hours. Everything's going to be one 24-hour period starting August 22nd. So, and this is like going to be the jam-packed day. So we'll just go through and the biggest events. First on the list is Wonder Woman 1984.
So before we get started with that, a big thing. So I was super excited for it. I was so gung ho. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna do panels and this is for the fans. This is what they're marketing as. We later found out a couple days ago, like the big panels that they're having are like the Wonder Woman, the Suicide Squad, the Batman, Aquaman, Shazam, Snyder Cut, all the big ones. I think the longest one, which is the Snyder Cut, is 25 minutes. Everything else is like 15, 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's horribly short.
Yeah.
Like, what are they? Are they gonna Are they gonna have any time to bring any of the cast members out? What are they gonna show? Like, I thought maybe they would have the cast members on Zoom calls, and then they would get a couple questions brought in through the day from fans, and then they would just give them to them, and they would answer, and it would be it would be perfect. And then there's a bunch of things that probably they could talk about, but the fact that these are only 10 minutes kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's going to be quick and concise, but we'll see. It's August 22nd. We're just going through the list of events that they have. They're going to be having a panel on Wonder Woman 1984, which I think if it wasn't for COVID, we would have been out in theaters by now, correct?
Yeah, no, that would have already been out.
So in alternate reality, we've already seen Wonder Woman.
In alternate, I think without a doubt, I think that panel is just going to be pretty much they're going to Gal and Patty Jenkins are going to come on a Zoom call, and I think they're going to be like, hey, here's our final trailer.
Yeah, here's the final trailer.
And they're going to maybe give a release date or an update on.
Maybe they'll direct to DVD or something, or direct to VOD. Or our theater or something.
There's no way it's going to go direct to DVD. If anything, the absolute worst outcome would be they're going to do with what they've done with Mulan, and maybe they'll test it, sending it to HBO Max for a price. But I don't see that.
Yeah.
Especially with this week coming up, with theaters possibly open, I think that will shed a little light on it. But I think definitely we'll get a final trailer.
Yeah. The new Suicide Squad movie sneak peek. James Gunn tweeted about it.
That I would say maybe that might be my most my second most exciting little panel, because I don't hate the first movie as much as some people do, but I do think it could have been something great, something amazing.
Yeah. And
the fact that they got James Gunn on this, just automatically excites me. And we've seen the title card on what it's gonna look like, what it's the lettering and stuff. And I believe he's done. He's done shooting it, I think. But of course, they've got a lot of posts, and they're gonna have to do reshoots and stuff like that. So it's not fully done. But I'm almost certain they've got to have enough for a trailer. So I think that's gonna be a big one. We're gonna get a trailer.
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the biggest thing that comes out of Fandom is probably Suicide Squad.
Maybe at the end we'll talk about one topic. I think that could be the biggest.
And then so and this one's a bit weird just talking about it. It's not a direct sequel to the other movie, but it is featuring some of the actors. I'm pretty sure Margot Robbie's still playing Harley Quinn.
Margot Robbie's in it, yes.
But it's not a sequel to it, so it's kind of its own universe. But I don't know. It's whatever.
We'll have to see what the vibe is with it.
Snyder Cut. That's going to be a big part of it. They're going to have a panel about it.
That's the longest panel, I believe, and that's gonna be interesting because they just had a virtual con called Justice Con that's devoted just for the Snyder Cut. So I definitely think that it's crazy how big. I almost wonder if they're gonna try and just redo this whole movie. This is gonna be unique because this is an opportunity to be hey, we had this movie come out long ago, and we're gonna do a redo. We're just gonna redo the whole movie.
This is his vision. I wonder how much will be the same and how much will be different. But it's definitely gonna be a reason to get HBO Max next year.
Oh God, yes.
Next would be Black Adam, which actually is actually pretty big too because Dwayne Johnson is gonna be part of a Q&A session for Black Adam.
Yeah, I think we've known about this for almost 5 years now. like again, surprised it's like 10 minutes because I know like a bunch of fans would have a bunch of questions for him. Maybe not like for there's not going to be a trailer. There's not.
Yeah.
I would say if the biggest thing gets revealed, maybe he shows him. Maybe he comes out on a Zoom call in the suit. That would be the biggest thing, I think. But other than that, I think that will be a pretty quick one. But it's cool that they're showing it. Like they're like, oh hey, Black Adam is coming. So
we have Aquaman. I guess I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm trying to read this. What was the first film? Okay, so this just looks like it's just a closer look at the 2018 movie with James Wan. So I thought this was going to be about Aquaman too, but it just looks like they're just really going deep into the first movie, which
I think because I think that panel is 10 minutes long, so I think we're gonna get I think they're gonna rehash most of like Aquaman 1. Again, I think it's a perfect opportunity for fans to ask Jason Momoa.
I don't think he's gonna be part of it.
I don't think he. No, I think he is. I think he might show up. If anything, maybe James Wan will just give a little tidbit towards the end about what 2 will be like. Will he maybe just a teaser? Also, 2 would have been interesting because of all the stuff that's going on with Amber Heard. Like, are they gonna replace her? Are they gonna get a different actress? Are they keeping her? What's going on with that?
So another big thing for me, like not for the mainstream, but for me, is Rocksteady. I've been waiting for the next Rocksteady game since Arkham Knight. They released the teaser trailer. It's they're working on a Suicide Squad game, so it's going to be a new Suicide Squad game, and it's going to be called Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
So, I think this kind of I think this foreshadows a little bit of like DC, like I think they're banking a lot on this James Gunn movie.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. Well, to be fair though, this game probably was started to work on in 2016 when the first movie came out.
I do think so too, and two, it makes sense because Superman is just like if you do that as a game, it's a little bit hard just because he's so powerful. But with Suicide Squad, you could do individual characters, and then 2, it'd be so much fun because they'll have different sets. And like you could teamwork them to take down enemies, like kind of like Batman. It's gonna be really fun. I'm excited. I don't know what they're gonna.
I trust Rocksteady though. They did the Arkham trilogy, so one of my favorite game series of all time.
Do you think they'll have a trailer?
Yeah, I think so. I think this will be a trailer. I don't know if they'll have gameplay, but there will be a trailer for this.
Okay, so yeah, I think they'll have a trailer. Definitely for next gen, of course.
The other game news is that Warner Brothers Montreal yesterday, they had a tweet where they showed and actually they could have announced already, I haven't really looked today, but the long-awaited next Batman sequel game. They did Arkham Origins.
Yep.
So it's looking like this next game is going to be the Court of Owls, so that is also going to be at DC Fandom, which I'm looking forward to, the next Batman game. Even though it's not Rocksteady doing it, Origins was okay. It's definitely the worst of the Batman games, but I'm excited for more Batman.
They killed it with the Deathstroke part, but other than that, it wasn't. It could have been better.
Yeah, I did like the storyline on that game though. So the Court of Owls is cool. So that we'll probably get a trailer for that as well. And lastly on this list is the Batman. Matt Reeves, director of the Batman, has announced to be sharing more about the film with Robert Pattinson's new Batman. Zoe Kravitz is cast as Catwoman, and it's not released till 2021. But and they've already announced too that they're having a spin-off show based off of this universe called the Gotham Police Department. So we're going to see more about the Batman.
I think this one's going to be one that probably disappoints people the most, just because I feel like people are going to hope that there's a trailer. I don't know. I think it's just going to be a very generic question and answer.
I mean, if it's scheduled for 2021, they might have something. If it's coming out next year, it's probably done filming.
No, they were shooting a little bit, but they had to stop.
Yeah,
I think that they did start up production though again. I swear I thought I remember something saying they started up production again. But one thing I think that they could easily to hype people up. One, if Robert Pattinson shows up in the bat suit, like on a Zoom call, that'd be hilarious, but also cool. Also, too, I think we would like to get maybe a little bit more teaser on like what it's going to be based on.
Yeah.
And then too, you could show Zoe Kravitz in the Catwoman costume. That would be a big thing. Uh, but I don't think there's a lot that they can do with that just yet.
And then you want to talk about what you think is going to be the biggest surprise.
So also too, I do know that there is a Shazam panel, 10 minutes, and then there's a Flash panel that's 10 minutes too.
So we'll see what's going on with that.
Shazam, pretty much. I mean, Zachary Levi, hopefully he can come on, talk about it.
Yeah.
Not expecting a lot from that. Flash, I thought that could be a little bit longer because I think that that's a movie a lot of people are looking forward to, and especially with that video that happened with Ezra Miller. I think, especially since they haven't acted upon it, I think that it's surprising that they're not going to come out and be like, hey, the altercation wasn't what you thought, there was other meanings to it, and like try to save their face.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have kind of disowned Ezra Miller because of that video. So I think that I'm surprised they haven't tried to tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what the heck the Flash panel's about.
But
your big
prediction. My biggest prediction, and also to a lot of people's biggest prediction, that I think possibly will happen. Because there's one guest that's not showing, that's not on the guest list, that I think is going to show up.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill. I think if you watch that video that broke the internet that one day of Henry Cavill building a gaming PC, I think a lot of people made jokes that like girls around the world got pregnant just by watching that video.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed was the fact that, and even though, of course, he's working on The Witcher, Henry Cavill looks jacked as hell. I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to give up working out. I'm pretty sure he loves it and he wants to stay in shape for his roles, but he looks really big. Yeah. And I'm wondering too, and like he's been like on board with like he showed up with Zack Snyder and doing the Snyder Cut. They're bringing him back for that, and I think that was one big thing that people loved about the movie, but also hated was the Superman. How they how he ended up acting was great, like how he acted like Superman finally. Yeah. But just how like no black suit, none of this. So I think if besides like a big trailer for like Suicide Squad or something like that, I think a big thing would be at the end or the beginning, Henry Cavill coming on a Zoom call being like, hey DC fans, sorry I'm not there, wearing a Superman t-shirt, but just being like, oh yeah, but don't worry, your DC universe still has its Superman. And I think he's going to announce that he's still Superman, he's still there. Maybe that, hey, we're working on something. So I don't think we'll get an actual confirmation of Man of Steel 2. If we do, even better. Yeah. But I think we're going to get teased that, like, hey, I'm still Superman, and we got something coming for you.
Yeah. So maybe cameo, maybe Man of Steel 2. But yeah, that'd probably be the biggest thing, just to announce that Cavill's still Superman.
But yeah, so I mean, a lot of news still happening. I think while things are still pretty crazy out in the world, I think we're starting to get back to a little normalcy. It's definitely going to be a big week considering movies are going to be coming back. Yeah. So for that fact,
and DC Fandom next week we'll know all this information that we've been talking about DC and what their plan is, and then hopefully we hear something from Marvel soon.
Yeah, I think that that's also another thing. Like DC really has a chance to kind of not surpass them, but kind of steal a spotlight for a little while from Marvel. Just because Marvel's been super quiet right now, and even though I think that they could have handled this little DC Fandom thing a little bit better with questions, more like I don't know. I do like the fact that they're doing something.
But with that, I think that we're going to wrap up the first episode of the Sorta Anything Show.
Yep. We, like I said, this is still testing ground for us, where we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to change, but we hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you continue watching, and we got a lot more coming for you.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
And thank you so much, and have a great day.